Welcome to 1884, a year when America teetered between chaos and ambition, its streets echoing with cries for justice while its horizons expanded with symbols of hope. From the smoke-filled alleys of Cincinnati to the grand unveiling of a colossal gift from across the Atlantic, this was a time when economic storms battered the nation, yet sparks of reform and innovation lit the path forward. As winter thawed into spring, tragedy struck the young Theodore Roosevelt on February 14th. In a single devastating day, he lost both his mother and his beloved wife, Alice, to illness. Devastated, Roosevelt fled to the Dakota Badlands, seeking solace in the rugged frontier that would forge his unbreakable spirit. Little did he know, this personal crucible would one day propel him toward the White House, embodying America's resilient heart. But personal grief paled against the fury erupting in Cincinnati that March. The city, a bustling hub of German immigrants and Irish laborers, boiled over in the courthouse riots from March 27th to 29th. It all began with a Christmas Eve murder the previous year. William Berger, a Jewish soap maker, shot his mistress in a fit of jealousy. When the jury acquitted him on March 28th, whispers of bribery and corruption ignited a mob of thousands. Fueled by outrage over a rigged justice system that shielded the powerful, the crowd stormed the courthouse, hurling bricks and torches. Flames consumed the building as gunfire rang out. By the end, 56 lay dead, hundreds wounded, and the National Guard had to intervene. These riots exposed deep ethnic divides and political machines that preyed on the working class, forcing reforms in jury selection and policing. Cincinnati's scars reminded America that unchecked graft could unravel the social fabric. Across the nation, labor's voice grew louder. On May 1st, workers in cities from Chicago to New York rallied for the 8-hour workday, a radical demand against the grueling 10 or 12-hour shifts in factories and mines. This first May Day observance planted seeds for future unions, challenging the Gilded Age's excesses where tycoons amassed fortunes amid widespread poverty. Yet hope flickered amid the strife. On May 17th, President Chester A. Arthur signed a bill making Alaska an official U.S. district, securing vast wilderness rich in resources and strategic value. This move foreshadowed America's growing reach into the Pacific, a quiet assertion of manifest destiny. But darkness loomed economically. Just days later, on May 4th, the panic of 1884 struck like a thunderbolt. It started with the collapse of a New York brokerage firm tied to speculative railroad bonds. Bank runs spread panic, credit evaporated, and factories shuttered. By summer's end, thousands lost jobs, farms foreclosed, and the ongoing depression from 1882 deepened. This crisis exposed the fragility of unchecked speculation, paving the way for calls for banking reforms that would echo into the 20th century. In Europe, ripples reached American shores. On July 4th, in a poignant ceremony in Paris, France formally presented the United States with the Statue of Liberty, a towering gift from the people of France, to celebrate shared ideals of liberty and friendship forged in the Revolution. Designed by Frederick August Bartholdi, this ironclad beacon would soon symbolize the American dream for millions of immigrants. Back home, on August 5th, workers laid its cornerstone on Bedloe's Island in New York Harbor. A moment of unity amid division. As autumn arrived, science bridged the globe. From October 1st, the International Meridian Conference convened in Washington, D.C., drawing delegates from 25 nations. After heated debate, they fixed the Greenwich Meridian as the world's prime line of longitude, standardizing time and navigation. This agreement revolutionized global trade, benefiting American merchants sailing ever farther routes. On October 6th, the U.S. Naval War College opened in Newport, Rhode Island, the first institution dedicated to naval strategy. Founded by Secretary of the Navy William C. Whitney, it trained officers in modern warfare tactics, signaling America's shift from isolation to emerging sea power, a crucial step as European navies eyed Pacific expansion. Farther afield, the Berlin Conference opened on November 15th in Germany, where European powers carved up Africa like a pie, ignoring indigenous borders. The United States attended as an observer, led by diplomat John A. Casson, to safeguard commercial interests in rubber, ivory, and markets. Though America abstained from signing the final act due to rising anti-imperialist sentiments at home, the conference's effective occupation rule spurred the scramble for Africa, intensifying global competition and indirectly boosting US exports, while highlighting ethical debates over colonialism that would influence future foreign policy. Back in the heartland, democracy's drama unfolded on November 4th in the presidential election. It pitted Democrat Grover Cleveland, the reform-minded governor of New York known for battling corruption, against Republican James G. Blaine, a charismatic but scandal-plagued Maine senator. The campaign was a mud-slinging spectacle. Republicans unearthed Cleveland's out-of-wedlock child, dubbing him a rum, Romanism, and rebellion foe, while Democrats revived Blaine's railroad bribery ties. In a razor-thin contest, Cleveland eked out victory with 48.85% of the popular vote to Blaine's 48.28%, securing 219 electoral votes to 182. His win ended 24 years of Republican dominance, restoring the Democrats to the White House and promising civil service reform to curb patronage abuses. As winter closed the year, triumph kept the trials. On December 6th, after 36 years of delays due to funding woes and the Civil War, the Washington Monument finally reached completion in the nation's capital. At 555 feet, its gleaming obelisk honored the first president, standing as a testament to perseverance. In quieter corners, new lives promise futures untold. Harry S. Truman entered the world on May 8th in Missouri, destined to lead America through World War II and the atomic age. On October 11th, Eleanor Roosevelt was born in New York, her advocacy for human rights and social justice reshaping the role of First Lady. And on June 16th, thrill seekers first rode the Switchback Railway at Coney Island, the world's inaugural roller coaster, hurtling down gravity-powered tracks at a daring 6 miles per hour. This whimsical invention heralded the rise of leisure culture, turning beaches into playgrounds for the masses. 1884 was no mere footnote. It was a forge. Riots demanded justice, panics tested resilience, and elections redefined power. Gifts from allies and conferences with the world pulled America onto the global stage, while monuments and meridians measured its growing stature. In the shadow of strife, the nation glimpsed its boundless potential. A year that whispered to future generations, endure, innovate, unite.